set 咗個方案先。
係咪重要？係啊。一人寫學生呢邊。
歡迎莅臨青年廣場。為保障各位觀眾嘅健康，請記得時刻佩戴口罩，保持適當嘅社交距離，同埋入場前記得要徹底消毒雙手。多謝合作。
Welcome to Youth Square. To ensure the safety and health of yourself and others, please observe good personal hygiene all the time. Always wear your mask when in public and maintain social distancing with others. You are also recommended to wash your hands thoroughly before entering the venue. Thank you for your cooperation.
歡迎莅臨青年廣場。為了保障各位觀眾的健康，請記得時刻佩戴口罩，維持適當的社交距離，及入場前記得要徹底消毒雙手啊！謝謝合作。
歡迎莅臨青年廣場，場館範圍內嚴禁吸煙或飲食。節目進行期間，請關掉鬧錶、無線電話及傳呼機等響鬧或發光裝置，以免影響節目進行。多謝合作。
Welcome to Youth Square. Smoking, eating, and drinking is not allowed in this area. Please switch off the alarm function of your watches, cell phones, and pagers during the performance. Thank you for your cooperation.
歡迎莅臨青年廣場，場館範圍內嚴禁吸煙或飲食。節目進行期間，請關掉鬧表、無線電話及傳呼機等響鬧或發光裝置，以免影響節目進行。多謝合作。
Good morning, everyone. Today marks the second phase of our Innovation and Technology program. Our today's hackathon has officially begun. My name is Tiffany, and I will be your MC for today. As for the event of today, the China-Hong Kong Cultural Exchange Association, funded by the IMT Commission, has prepared a series of exciting and engaging activities for all of you today. This is the official rundown of today. We will first begin with an opening speech by Nelson Lee, followed by a brief workshop held by Bharati as well as a few panel discussions held by industry professionals discussing the latest technology such as fintech, high-tech, and climate change tech. Now, let us welcome Mr. Nelson Lee to deliver the opening speech.
Thank you, Tiffany. We are privileged here on behalf of China Hong Kong Cultural Exchange Association to welcome our professionals, our mentors, and all our listening guests here, to support the whole program. Today, we are going to have 2 days program here. Our hackathon is not the new, but we like to, through the hackathon, the community shaper all around, to try to change the INT culture in Hong Kong. Today, we're going to have a few very good professionals to serve as a mentors, at the same time, to use design thinking as a vehicle to help our community shaper to transform, how they think. And if you know that culture is something, how we think, how we act, and how we interact, that's the way we live. That's the way how we build our society and our community. That is, why we're here and why we are doing this project for Hong Kong. Today, we're going to have a 2-day program. A lot of students are intern and community shaper. Many of them actually not in Hong Kong, but say overseas in mainland China. We know that we are running a hybrid program, and that is quite challenging. So let's work together to make a fun and also very productive event. Thanks so much for today. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson Yip, for the heartwarming speech.
Now, we would welcome Jackie, one of our facilitators, to briefly introduce our participants' journey in the upcoming 2 days hackathon.
Testing. Hi everyone, so welcome to the INT Hackathon organized by the China-Hong Kong Cultural Exchange Association. So in the following few minutes, I'll be reminding you of some important points to note for our whole event, and as well as some details of the event. So we've attached the event booklet in the last email we sent to you yesterday, so please go for it as it has mentioned all the details as well as some guidelines of the event. So in the upcoming 2 days, you'll be experiencing various interactive activities for both physical or online virtual participants. So in the morning, we will start by having a design thinking workshop conducted by Ms. Bharati, who's sitting here. As well as in the afternoon, there will be a field panel discussion regarding the 3 main titles of our hackathon, which is the fintech, agitech, as well as the climate change technologies. So after the panel discussion, we hope you can have more understanding of these 3 industries, which may help you in constructing your own ideas and your projects in the upcoming 2 days. So on the second day, we will be having a professor in the morning to present to us to introduce some kinds of prototyping tools, as well as some techniques to be used. And in the afternoon section, after a small ESG forum, there will be a presentation clinic as well as a feedback section where you'll have a chance to having presentation in front of some professional speakers, and she will provide you with some ideas on that. So this is how the 2-day hackathon will go through, and hope you all can enjoy it. So regarding the final part, which is your outcome, we also hope you can present us with a video of 3 to 5 minutes as a result, as well as a presentation deck, which will be submitted at the end of the second day. So just feel free for any inquiries, as facilitators is both physically here or on online Zoom rooms. So please feel free to approach them for any questions and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. We will now begin with the first few workshops of today, mainly revolving around the idea of design thinking. Let us welcome Ms. Bharati Das, an expert design thinker, and kickstart today's program. We are now having some technical problems. For a moment.
Hi, good morning, all of you. So, we'll be starting our presentation right now. Just a quick hand, how many of you know what design thinking is? Have you ever used design thinking? Okay, 1, 2. Is there anyone else? Okay, I think that, okay, 3 with Nelson. So I think that makes my job easier because this is like an introduction to design thinking and how we'll be using. So we can see that you have a lot of notepads and boards on your table. So we can use that and we'll understand what design thinking is. So if any of you guys had any thoughts like this, like, okay, I have a lot of ideas which I want to share with the world. I want to open my own startup, or I want a lot of things which I want to do for the society and for my family or something, but I don't know where to start. So most of you might be thinking, okay, I have a lot of things which I want to do, but I don't know how to process it or how to categorize it, how to assess it. So this is one thing which many of us always go through, like I have so many ideas and I'm confused. On the other hand, you might also have this problem, I have no ideas at all, like everything I think of already has been done. Like you want to open your startup on something, it already exists. So this is also another problem, you can get confused with no ideas as well. So the main thing here is, where do I start? So what do you want to do after that? So, hello, my name is Bharati Das. I'm currently doing my PhD in design economics in School of Design, PolyU. I've also done my Master of Design in PolyU, and I've done my MBA from IIM Shillong, which is India. And I have 4 years of work experience in sales and marketing, branding, advertising. So I have worked with a lot of people, and I've even worked in startups. So it's all about like how we come up with different design thinking techniques. And the beauty of this is you can do it individually by yourself or even in a team. Oh, okay, we'll have this ice-breaking session later on. So the thing here is, does anybody know what this product is? Okay, so I'll just tell you about this. It's a very unique thing and you guys will be shocked with this one. So the thing is that the times have changed now. So usually we used to buy very product oriented. So we used to have products which are only meant for customers, and earlier we had no choice but to accept the products. Like let's say cars. First there were only few Toyota cars, and then now we have a lot of cars. So it's basically focusing from product to customer. And you must have heard the new saying, which is customer is king. So which actually means that whatever customer says, the markets will help you do it, and then there will be demand. So we are moving from product centric, which is like all revolving around the company, whatever they want to produce, we will buy, to customer centric, means whatever we want, the customer wants, the companies will provide. So this is why it moves from design, just about how you design a product or how it looks, to actually empathy, which means what does the customer want and you're designing it according to that. So for example, this was the first, this was a product by Apple, and this had come after their iPhone. So you can see this is an iPhone and this is their new Apple Newton, which launched in 1990. So you can see that they did not know how to market it because that time there was no market for this. It's bigger than a smartphone, but it's smaller than your laptop. So what is it exactly? Back that time, there was no market of a tablet. So the sales went down in 1997, and it took them 24 years to understand the UI and make it as iPad. So actually, iPad was before Apple Newton. They had made a tablet way before, but the market could not understand what it was or what it meant. So this is one good example where even if the customer is not ready and the company is, sometimes you have to just assess the customer as per your needs. Because you can put your market out there, you can put your product out there, but will the customer buy it? That is one question which you have to analyze. So design thinking is an open-minded problem-solving approach. So previously, like earlier in the 20th century, we would go from what, how, and why. So we would just come up, okay, so this is my product, and this is what I want the customers to do. But if you look at the times now it's much more evaluative. So we are understanding why the customers are wanting like this. Why do we need a product? We already have so many alternatives, right? Nowadays, you don't just have one product for like, let's say tea. You have a lot of brands. You have a lot of like foreign brands as well. So what is their unique selling point? Which in the sense, why are they unique? So it's like how and what. So you can see that it is increasing slowly. And this is how they're extending the learning curve. So this is the content which we'll be having. First, we will be discussing what is design thinking, followed by why is it important and why you can and how you can use it in your daily lives or in your business plans. And we'll be discussing about the design thinking process, followed by a design thinker's personality, because it's not like just a textbook study which you do. It's not just you read a chapter and yes, it's done. You have to apply it, and to apply it, you need to have a different kind of attitude. Then we have how to use design thinking in business studies, followed by the workshop. So I think most of you might know IDEO. So they are our very topmost design thinking company. And over there, Tim Brown, who is the CEO and president, he had said that design thinking is a discipline that uses the designer's sensibility and methods. So it's about a designer who is using design thinking to match people's need, which is to empathize, and what is technology feasible and a business strategy, which can convert into customer value and market opportunity. So this thing which you see here, customer value and market opportunity, we will be making this table, we'll be making the frameworks together. So it's basically all about design thinking is about understanding the customer and how you can extend your value. So these are some right and wrong facts about design thinking, which you probably might know or might not know. So if most of you think that design thinking is only for designers, you are wrong. It's not only for designers. It's actually for everyone in different industries. You do not need to be a designer to make design thinking. Similarly, like maybe we think that, okay, if somebody is practicing design, that means it's maybe graphic design or something. That is different. So another thing is design thinking is only about design. What design? There is a lot of design in the whole world. So there's graphic design, there's product design, manufacture design. There are so many. And it's all about how you use it as a process. So it's a package of practices, so techniques and mindset. So like I said earlier, it's all about having different, applying different techniques and then having a different mindset to apply them. Another thing is that it can only be done at the beginning. So in other sense, many products fail. So if we use design, had we used design thinking in the beginning, it would have been fine. Actually, no, you can use it anytime you want, anytime you think that the product can get better, anytime you want any customer feedback. Another thing is like you can only follow the rules that already exist. So you go online and you will see that there's a lot of sources which you can use for design thinking, right? But be careful, because that's not the only thing which you can use. You can always come up with more design techniques as long as you understand how to play the game and what is your goal. So it's important to use design thinking because you can brainstorm in teams to get more ideas. So anybody who's struggling in teams, you can always work with each other and come up with brainstorming ideas. So I just have one question for you. How many times have you felt that you are in a group but you are not being heard, or that you are being ignored? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this often happens when you are in a group and then you feel like you are left out, and this is where the problem is. And one solution is brainstorming. So it's not about being judgmental or letting only like a group leader speaking. It's about everybody joining in, collaborating, and this is where the ideas come out. You need to understand the customer needs deeper, and quick prototyping and visualizing always saves, because I'm sure most of you might be thinking, okay, if I want to do a startup, I need a product, and for that I need to have a 3D printing machine, or I have to go here and there and get the rights. Actually, no, you don't have to do so much for just the beginning. The problem here is that most of us just think very far, and we actually don't reach anywhere because we only focus on that one point, and then we are actually just going in loops. So the strategy here is to fail fast and learn fast. There's no other way. You will not just succeed with the first product. So you just have to keep developing and understand further. So this is the design thinking process which we have. So most of you might be knowing this, and I think most of you might be thinking this is where it ends, right? First is you empathize. So empathize is where you try to understand the problem. Then you define it, like what is the problem and how you can make it better. And third is ideate. So you are brainstorming with your team, you come up with new ideas. And fourth is prototype, like you just test it out. Okay, this is what most of the companies do, but actual design thinking also starts with this, where you start testing your prototype. This is what most of the companies or most of the people might not tell you, that it's important to try out what you are making in the first place. So there's testing. And finally, there's implement, where you exercise all the feedback. And this is actually a loop. So you keep going round and round till your product is actually good enough to be launched in the market. So we'll just start with one. Like the first one is to empathize. So what you can do to empathize is you can conduct interviews, like group interviews or personal individual interviews. So this is one thing which you can do. Then you try to understand their emotions. So how do they feel? Are they feeling pain? Do they have problem in any in the current product? Can you make that better? And then you try to seek stories, because you will see in many startup companies or pitch ups, there will be some personal story or why you are motivated to design or develop the product. So that is something very personal, and that always helps in a company, in a pitch up. So next we have define, where you try to create human-centered problem statement. Basically, what is the problem that the customer is currently having, and how can you make it better? Then we have ideate, which I have already explained. It's like to brainstorm and not be judgmental in teamwork, always build up on others' ideas. The main thing here is not to just work on your own, but other people's ideas. And then we have prototype. So the prototype here is like making low resolution objects. If you want to make videos, if you want to make any services, products, make it a very low resolution, like even out of these paper and cardboards, pens. Make it as cheap as possible, but just try to understand what are the features. And then you can also try to role play and find some pain points. So for example, this is one video from IDEO. What they had to do was they had to make an app. They had to make a dancing app of Elmo. Like if you know Elmo, he's from Sesame Street. So that is one of the cartoon character, like a puppet. So they had to make a dancing app They could have gone to an app, right? They could have made some app and then just try out prototyping, like what usually we think of. Instead, they did this. Is there sound? So you can see what he did. They had to make an app. Instead, they just tried it out over here in a big mobile cardboard, and he's an actual person. They just tried it out to see how it works like and to see the things. And actually, most of the people commented that he became so popular because he did it better than the actual Elmo puppet. So this is one very quick and easy prototyping which all of us can do. And this company is really nice because they always make amazing cheap prototypes, but they are always effective because they keep learning from the previous ones. So the fifth step is to test. So you have to test it with your customers and collect data, and you can empathize, and you have to embrace failure. So we'll be doing all of this in the workshop, and then you'll be able to learn a little more how you can get feedback and why you should not be very judgmental. I know most of the people, we are like, okay, this is my love, this is my project. And somebody says, oh, this is very, this is so outdated, somebody already has this. And then most of us might be thinking, how could you say that? I mean, you really ignore that person. But actually the thing is, do not be emotional or sentimental with your product. You have to just understand why the people are saying like that. And then you have to make changes. And the final thing is to implement. So you have guideline for project assessment, and then you can integrate your feedback and relaunch and reproduce the product. So these are some companies which you will know, and it will be a little surprising of what they had done. So this is New Coke. What they had done is, New Coke, as you always know, Coke is always in a fight with Pepsi. So when Pepsi started gaining more popularity in the youth, like they started targeting the teenagers, Coca-Cola thought they have to make something better. So they had a 100-year-old formula, which is the Coke, the classic Coke. What they did is they changed it. They changed it and they made it sweeter, because they thought if Pepsi is sweet, we will make it sweeter. And then they launched it in 1985. What happened was, the people were so angry that how could you change Coke without telling us? They really missed the old Coke. And then, you won't believe this, but then the whole New Coke was a commercial failure, and the sale only lasted for 77 days. They brought back the Coke. They brought back the classic Coke. So this is one thing which you can understand from here, is that some companies like Coca-Cola did not ask their customers. Everything was going fine, right? They did not have to come up with a new Coke, or they could have just done some marketing campaign. They changed the whole thing, and then they lost out on a lot of business. So sometimes if you do not understand the customer empathy, this is what can happen. This is another example of Nintendo Virtual Boy. This was in the 1990s. So maybe you guys know Nintendo Switch. Nintendo has a lot of other games. So this was one of the failed attempts. You won't believe it took them 4 years to do research and development on this. This was one of the first VR sets, virtual reality, and this heavy thing which looks like, I don't know, like at least 1 or 2 kgs, you have to wear it on your head. So this is for your head, and you have to put it on your head, and can you imagine how heavy it would be? So this was one of the first productions, and of course, maybe by that time they did not have super amazing technology which can make things thinner and lighter. So this is what they had. And this was very pricey because it was one of the first VR and then motion sensor. So that is why it was really expensive. But then the customers did not know what is virtual reality. They did not know what is motion sensor. Even though they bought it, most of them felt very frustrated. And moreover, because it was so heavy, it caused the users ergonomic problem. Like they had pain in the neck, they couldn't like wear it for a longer time. So who would like to play a game where you are always constantly in pain? So this was a commercial failure in less than 1 year because they tried to sell it a lot. They gave a lot of discounts, but it still did not work because the customers did not like it. So what explains here is that you need to develop a personality to understand why, like how design thinking works. So the first thing you can do is have a sense of empathy. This is the extremely first thing which you need to understand as a designer, that you have to step out of your shoes and you have to understand who is going to use my product and how can I help them. So you do not have to think from yourself, but rather from the customer. So here you have to think from multiple perspectives and always observe. You can develop this idea now because like just keep observing how the customers use different products. You will be able to know a lot more than what you just read. Then we have integrative thinking. You have to look beyond what is already here. Of course, you are looking at a product, yes, it exists, but what about in the future? Can you do something better? So you have to look beyond whatever is happening and try to predict the future. Be optimistic, don't ever give up. Of course, I think most of us, okay, just a quick question. How many of you want to have your own startup or want to have your own company? Okay, do you have an idea? Like, do you already have your idea? So? Okay, okay, cool. So, just the thing is like, always be optimistic and you need to start developing your idea and always find new ways how you can do it. So then we have experimentalism, which means you have to ask serious questions and explore the constraints. Sometimes in design, what we do, like you see a lot of color here, but we just limit ourselves in maybe one color. Maybe, you know, if you do Instagram filters, you will see that there's like monochrome, there's silver or something like that. So it's like only 2 color palettes, black and white. So sometimes you have to limit yourself in different constraints so that you can explore yourself better. Sometimes struggling also helps you out through that. So then we have collaboration. The good thing here, what we'll be doing in the workshop as well, is that we will be collaborating with with each other and we'll be trying to understand. So it's how to start with design thinking. If you're thinking that, okay, I'm new to this, how can I start and how can I at least get the feel? So this is what you can do. You can start it in the process itself and you can explore the ideas using the 6-step tool. Then you can take a human-centered approach. Try often, keep trying. The main idea here is to empathize and come up with as many ideas as possible. Then you make quick prototypes and then you try to test them out. Then you seek inspiration from the community and you have to communicate like, okay, if you tried my product, how are you feeling? How are things going? And finally, it's like, don't be afraid to come out of your comfort zone. Of course, you have to try new things and it's good to collaborate with other people. So these are some resources which you can do. I think like if you want, like these resources will be sent to you later on. So these are some of the good resources where they provide tools and then they have good ideas and strategies on how you can use them. So, yeah. And we'll have this ice breaking session later. So do you have any questions? So that then after that we can take some break, or if you want we can just start with the workshop, depends on you. How many of you want the break? Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, cool. Is that okay? 10 minutes. Okay.
We will now have a short 15 minutes break and return shortly after at 10:30. Thank you. We will now having the ice-breaking sections, and then we will start the workshop.
Okay, so can you guys please scan this? Can you scan the QR code? So can you guys scan the QR code? You have like 1 minute. So what you have to do here is you have to tell us where you're from. After that, I will be sharing the screen, and then we can just see where all of us are from, and we can share some things about what we like. You can also write down your name. So you can write down your name in the while you're pinning it down, so that we can just know about each other and talk. So I'll also share it with the online students. No, I'm just, so we can see that there's a lot of people from different places. So why do you think this is an ice-breaking session? So you can just say something fun about your place. So you guys can just share that where you're from and tell us one thing you like about the place. So I'll start with myself. So I'm from India, and I like the sweets a lot from my place because I really like I like eating the sweets and I like making them. So that's one. Is there anybody else who'd like to share? I didn't see some of the, like, you guys just shared your location, but you can just also tell us what you like. Nelson, would you like to say something? Like, okay. Is there anybody else who'd like to say where you're from and one thing which you like about your place? Everyone's too silent. Okay, I'll start with you. It makes no sense, just... Sorry, okay, yeah. Okay. You...
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm James. I'm from Hong Kong, and what I like about Hong Kong is like I like the dim sum. I also like the fact that I also like the transportation because I went to US for college, and then US transportation, like, arguably, I wouldn't comment, but like yeah, I like Hong Kong's transportation and food.
Okay, that's nice. You're a foodie then. Anybody else?
All right. So I'm from India as well, and the same place as you, Kolkata, and also what I love about it is the food, not just the sweets. Personally, I'm not a big fan of sweets, but like I like the food in general there, the fish and as well as the biryani. It's pretty.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Okay, I see a lot of foodies here. Would you like to share? Thanks for sharing.
I'm Kay and I'm from Hong Kong. And one of the things that I like the most is the street food of Hong Kong, because I think is like some Hong Kong style food is like what I like the most, such as fishball and some siu mai is my favorite. Thank you.
I see. You can share something else apart from food too, like if you like watching games or I don't know, depends. Would you guys like to share? Anyone else? Okay.
I'm a mixed sort of international. So I'm from Hong Kong. I'm also half Malaysian, but I've grown up in Hong Kong my entire life. And what I guess I like about Hong Kong, there's two different aspects. One of it is that it's much more, I would say, fortunate than other countries because it's a lot more technologically advanced. And the second reason is because Hong Kong is actually a very much smaller place than compared to other countries. And I think I really like this aspect about Hong Kong because it kind of creates like a much more community-like feeling and culture amongst the locals. Yeah.
It's true. That's a really good point. You also said you want to have your own startup someday?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you already have some product or something? Are you planning?
We are currently in discussion. I have like a small team and we have a few ideas that we're kind of exploring, but we don't have a specific idea as of yet.
Oh, okay. I hope like if you use some design thinking, then at least you guys can just brainstorm more.
Yeah, perhaps we'll be able to come up with a solid idea after today's session.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. How about you guys? It's okay, you can sit.
Hello, I am Benny, come from Hong Kong. The favorite in Hong Kong I like is pineapple bun. And also this Young Square is also very great. Yes, I joined the student elite organization here as the floor number 8. If you would like to join us for different friends from different university and do volunteer work and social media, you are welcome to join us. Thank you.
Great, thank you. How about you?
So, hello, I'm Janice. I also come from Hong Kong. What I like about Hong Kong is that other than food, I think there are lots of things very convenient in terms of transportations. I can go where friendlier and by MTR almost like 30 to 1 hour can go to one side of Hong Kong to another side. And another thing is that we can use internet here freely, that I can watch a lot of Netflix or YouTube with the boundaries, which is one of the best things in Hong Kong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's an interesting thing about Netflix, which I'll share later. Is there anyone online who would like to share? Jen Kim says, I like Hong Kong so much. This is my hometown. The people here are all very friendly and nice. Yes, that's true. I've been in Hong Kong for 3 years and I really like the place. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll start with the workshop. Okay. So the workshop is, we'll be building our own robot. So the robot thing itself is really interesting. So we'll be having it in 3 phases. So the first is you have to understand who your customer is. Like what will your customer want and why do you want to build a robot? So that's first is we'll make the customer profile, and second is we'll make our value proposition canvas. In other sense, we'll try to identify why and how we can be unique. And finally, we have the business model canvas. So if you have gone for business pitches or presentations before, you will know that most of the judges or most of the teachers, they actually want to see a business model canvas, because this is a one slide or one page information on everything you want to do with your company or product or service. So henceforth, it's a very important tool. And this is almost like the heart of your presentation, business presentation. If you're ever going for startup or pitching, or even you want to have your own, your own plan, this is important to have. So what you will understand from this workshop is that you will be able to visualize what you create. So remember what we had discussed first. We have a lot of ideas, but then we do not know how to categorize them or how to organize them and what value they will create. So with this, you will be able to understand this one, like the value creation. And then we will be able to understand the product market fit. So we have a lot of ideas, but are all of them viable? Will the market accept all of them? So that is something which we will be able to understand through this. And finally, we'll make our business model. So once you have this in hand, you can actually pitch it to other investors. Of course, you need your product or service. You at least need a small prototype. But with this, you can at least have more information about your product. So I think most of you might have had this question that, okay, I want to sell this product. And then if you want to, then someone will ask, okay, how much is it? What is the cost? How much profit will you make? How will you sell it? There's a lot of questions, right? So this will help us organize things better. So the first thing which we'll be doing is you have the piece of paper in front of you. So you can work in groups. You can just make a group of 2 people and you can just start working on it, right? Or if you want individual, that's also fine. So you can just start working on your customer profile, which is the first thing. And then you have to make something for all of these. And you have to just, you can share with us if you want, or just you can just draw a small part of it in the chart paper or the A4 sheet. So you can just write like, what is your customer profile? So you are building a robot for what age group? So we can say about this one, the demographics, basically, what age group are you planning to design the robot for? So is it like young adult, children, or senior citizen? Is there for anybody specific you want to design? Why do you want to design a robot? Is there anything is there any problem which you have? So this is basically, just do not go overboard and go into details right now. Just make that, okay, I want to design it, let's say for the young adult, or let's say for the adult, because of so and so reason. And you can make your location. So if I say about this person, he is my customer profile. So I can say that he's a senior citizen. He'll be staying in Hong Kong. He is retired, doesn't have income, and he likes doing yoga, he likes exercising, he's a very healthy man. And what do they like doing? He likes doing yoga. The challenge is he doesn't like giving up, he always tries to seek for better and new things. So if you ask me, then this will be my customer profile in short. So you can just start making something. So just put down the age, location, income, hobbies, the favorite thing that they like doing, along with the challenges. So you can just think a little more. If you want, you can do some searches. So I'll just go around the table. I'll also come to Zoom and discuss if you have any questions. So we'll take about 10 minutes for this. This is the first step, so you can just look at this and make it. Hello. Okay. It's for the online students.
Everything, every question on screen. There's some for
Okay, so we meet again at 10:55. You have about 7 more minutes to design your customer profile. And if you finish before that, you can share your insights with us, or you can just share your decisions.
if you need.
If any of you guys are done, you can come and share. Oh, they're done? Okay, great. For the people who are watching online, if you have any doubts, you can just open your mic and tell us, or you can use the chat function and you can just type. So if you would like to present, let us know. You can share your screen and you can show us. What question? Can be any kind of robot, like someone with AI or something for the elderly, something for the children. No, the customer is not, the product is the robot. You are the creator, like you are the entrepreneur. Yeah. Oh, sorry if that wasn't, okay, if that wasn't clear. Like here it's like design the robot, so you are the creator. You have to make a robot for the customers and you have to plan out what is the kind of robot you make and who is your customer. Yeah. So you don't have to start thinking about what are the functions which the robot will have. You just decide for whom you want to make the robot first, and then we'll just breathe more life into the robot. Like this is a 3-step process, right? So we're just in the first one. First is to understand who your customer is. Are you guys done? You can present. Okay. Okay. Good.
Hi guys. So our robot, the name is called George, and then the primary function is for safety and physical labor purposes. So like we're targeting elderly, so around like 60 plus ages. So the reason we're targeting the elderly is because we acknowledge that there might be some safety issues that are concerning, and also some elderlies might be immobile. So like it's hard for them to do like physical work. So that's the reason our target segment is elderly. And then the location is, so currently the accessible market is Hong Kong, but we wish to expand it to maybe like other Asian countries, particularly Japan. And then the cost will be around 10,000 to around 2,000 HKD. But we hope to apply like government subsidy in order to make it more affordable. And then hobbies is like, again, what we mentioned, safety issues, and also like physical labor. And then challenges is that the elderly might not be adapted to technology. Okay. So like we might have to educate them a bit on how to use technology in the robot.
That's a good point about challenges. Yeah, I think overall it's a good job.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Would you like to present?
So, hello guys. Before we get into the idea of a robot, we wanted to check out the customer profile. So the age, we thought about adult or middle-age people, like middle-aged men or women, based in Hong Kong or China. Like hopefully we first aim to, first the robot aims to focus on like Hong Kong and then hopefully in China. Then we focus on the low-income demographic as we think that it becomes very difficult for middle-aged people to provide for, let's say, families and all that. So the hobbies, we tend to focus on like people who like doing mahjong, poker, betting games, right? And let's say the favorite things are like old Cantonese or old Chinese music for them to relive their youth or childhood or their old times, and for them to socialize with their workmates or colleagues or old friends, like things like Dai Pai Dong or like anything like that. And what are the challenges? What are the pain points? What are the struggles they face? So firstly, as I kind of insinuate, is the struggle to provide for family. Secondly, they make bad decisions such as betting, and it makes it very difficult for them to provide for the families again. And they had desire to provide for their children, let's say a better education. So it becomes more difficult for them to provide an education when there's low income and low living standards. For example, it's very difficult to find a decent housing in Hong Kong. So with that, I guess that is what our robot will target. Like that's the customer segment that we will try to target. And hopefully we can come up with an idea to help them out.
Great, thank you. That's a really good point about the elderly people. That's a good point about the elderly people staying in Hong Kong and about like the closed spaces or the small spaces. Truly, there's a lot of problem, and we feel that there's not much being done enough for the elderly because, of course, they have problem with technology. So that is one thing we can come up with. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now it's time for the next group.
Okay. We want to make an innovative badminton booking system. Nowadays, it's difficult to book the sport facility, especially some badminton. Like in the LCSD website, you may have to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning very early to compete with each other to get your available time slot. And also there are many bad guys in this world try to book the facility not for their own use, but without their booking slot to the others for profits. Yeah. And also we find another problem is that if you can access different badminton court line in the LCSD website or university website, or even you have some badminton social media group, you have to browse a different platform to see to find the time slot, and it is a very time-consuming process. Yeah, so that we want to make an innovative system that can integrate all your platforms and also make you easier to book the time slot. No need to compete with each other to get your facility. Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you. I had some questions. The badminton, who is it for? Like, what is the age group? Is there any age group?
I think the age group is usually someone who like to play the badminton. Yes, maybe usually from the young adult age to the adult age, something like that.
Okay. He made a valid point about, he did not specify the age, but he said about badminton lovers. So sometimes we might not be able to make the exact age because the same robot can be used by the elderly as well as the children. So sometimes we can just he just focused more on the need, which is like people who love playing badminton, and that is a problem. And I agree that's a problem because I've never been able to book even one session because it's never available. So yeah. I never went. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bharati. There's also The message from the online participants?
Yeah. Does he have, oh. The target segment of my robot are kids. The primary function is to ensure children's safety at home. The price of the robot is around 25,000 US dollars, Hong Kong dollars. The main challenge is whether we have the technical knowledge to build it. So are you already working on this or you're just planning? Because you already came up with the cost. So I would, the next time, like if you tell someone, then they would be like, how did you come up with the cost? So that is something. And is it Hong Kong dollars or US dollars? It seems quite expensive. So I mean, I don't know. So whenever you go and pitch the product, of course, they will ask like, why suddenly the cost? You can elaborate more. They are for kids. Primary function is to ensure their safety at home. Okay. So you're focusing more on the safety. You can also focus a little bit on the age. Is it just safety? Is it education as well? Can they help the children with education? So maybe you can just define it a little bit more, but it's a good try. So you've also made the main challenge. You can also tell a little bit more about the hobbies. So what kind of safety is it? So that would also be helpful. If you can also turn on your mic and you can talk, or you can just write things more. Okay, this is by Rohan. He says, my robot is targeted towards lazy people and the elderly. The robot can pick up and detect dirty laundry around your house and take it to the laundry room. The robot should be able to work by itself. Okay, that's really interesting. And I like the fact that all of you guys have pinpointed very specifically to some need which we have, and that's really nice, that's really good. So all of you guys are very observant. And this one it's targeted for the elderly. Okay. Okay, fine. So now I think all of you guys got the hang of your customer profile. Like, of course, you can just make multiple customer profiles. You can just identify more, but this will be more like your target audience. So this is whatever you have made now. These are your target audience. So these are the people to whom you will be selling your product to. So you can always develop a little bit more. Of course, you can study them more. And okay, so for now, we'll just settle on this one and we'll go to the next phase. So next we have the value proposition canvas. So whatever problem you have given, whatever is the target area or anything, the customer profile, we will be dividing it into the gains, pains, and the customer jobs. So the customer job is basically what is the customer trying to do? So what does your, like for the child or for the elderly or for the badminton, what are they trying to do? So you can just write very simply what is the work, and this will be followed by the gains. What are the benefits that the customer wants to achieve? So do not think at this from your point of view. So as we had discussed earlier, think of it from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes and trying to find out if they do the job, what is the benefit that they are searching for. Also, think about the pain. What are their pain points? So are they having any current problem? What are the things they fear? What are the things they do not want to do? So this will give you a more better perspective on some things which you shouldn't do in your product. So you can just work this thing out. I'll show the whole diagram and example, and then we can start working on it. So just pay attention in like what you have to do. So what the idea here is, this is for the customer and this is for you. So remember how we were talking about how you can see what value you're creating? This is what it means. Yeah. So the gains of the customer, like what the customer wants to gain and benefit, will come to your gain creator. Basically, what are the benefits which you can provide to your customer? So this will come in gain creators. Product and services is basically the customer jobs. What do the customer want to do, and how will you basically serve your product and service? Like what is it in a small line? I think most of you have already said what you want to do with your product, so that will come here. And what are the benefits of your product? It should be in link with what are the benefits which the customer wants. Finally are the pain relievers. So you already know that the customers are having these problems, right? So how will you help them eliminate the pain? Like, why should you be unique? And this is called your value proposition canvas. I'll just show you some examples. So this is the value proposition canvas of Tesla. So the customer profile is upper middle class male, and the income is like 100K plus US dollars. So what they have done here, the job to be done for a normal customer. What does a customer want? So here it is, the customer wants to be different from others. So for Tesla, they have already understood that the customer doesn't just want a car, he wants something to show off, he wants something as a meaning. So he wants to be different from others. He wants an occasional long distance trip, he wants to commute to work, personal mobility, convey an image of success. Tesla has its own electric car, so they want to like show that they are sustainable, or they want to show that they are trying to like give better to the society. Then what are the gains? What is the customer looking for? He's looking for brand recognition. Obviously, it's from Tesla, so he wants to own the brand and be a part of that whole big company. He wants to perform like a sports car because he doesn't want something slow, he wants something super fast. He wants good design, compliments from friends. That is also another thing which we have. It's called articles of snob appeal or articles of show off. So most of the customers, like they want to buy something so that they can show off. So examples of these can be some cars or diamonds or gold or jewelry or watches. So some of the people might buy just to show off, or just to say that, okay, like this is my status or lifestyle. So that is another thing you can consider. Then they have high safety ratings. The seating should be 4 to 7, high-end battery tech. This is what they would like in a car. And what are the pains? What are they really scared of? So it's lack of charging stations. It's an electric car, remember? So they are always scared, okay, what if I go on a long trip and I do not get any charging station? How will I be able to get back home? So that is one thing which they're scared. They are scared of buying before price drop. I think most of us are scared of that. So it has happened many times maybe that we bought something and immediately the next day we get an email of like, let's say 40% sale. We already bought the product, right? So that is one thing which people are scared of. Like, okay, what if I buy a car and the next day it's on sale? So they are scared of dead battery, frequent charging, accident and harm in a car. These are some things which they have considered, which the customer is scared of in the product. Now let's see how Tesla has used the job to be done, to products and services. So they have given 8 years of battery warranty. They have given fewer options, but better models. And they have the models which have good mileage. They also have different models. So Model X and Model 3. So here they have the gains. So what the customer wants, and this is what they have given. So they have given performance of kilometer per hour, which is very good. Then they have given high-tech feel of the 17-inch touch screen. So they also have a huge like the lifestyle and the status which the customer wants, like compliments from friends, design. They have given all these here. So they have focused on design and style, and it's an autonomous car. So you can see that these might be a lot. It doesn't have to be that 1 is equal to 1. They have combined a lot, like maybe 2 or 3, and then they have put here. So you can do that in your value proposition map. You can just put all of them and maybe put less, put few. But the idea is to make sure you put these into here. You can't just say, okay, okay, the customer wants a high safety rating, so what do? I provide more colors. I mean, that doesn't make any link. Make sure whenever you're making your proposition, it links towards what the customer wants. And that is how you create the link with empathy. And finally, they had these pains. So lack of charging station, what they did, they made 5+2 seats. They made charging network. They also provided good mileage. And so I think now Tesla also has this cafe. So while you're charging your car, you can have free cup of coffee. So they are also providing some good programs. Next. So this is a simpler version of Amazon. So most of you might be knowing Amazon, what they are doing. So Amazon, as you know, was previously, they only used to sell books, and now they have gone from home to home, from door delivery to, they have Amazon Music, Amazon Prime. They have expanded a lot. They even have their own movies and shows. So this is how they're expanding, and this is what they earlier used to be. So the product is shopping a lot from favorite brands, only drawing special discounts. So sometimes earlier what it was that we will only buy online if we don't get something, in the physical stores. Of course, now it's different. I think because of the pandemic situation, pretty much most of us have ordered online sometime or the other. So what they want, what the customer wants to do is get a chance to shop from favorite brands. Some of them are not available nearby, or they want to, they just want something very specific. And also they want to shop at a price less than usual. So I think most of us, we just want discounts, like if there are some flash deals or a quick sale. So this is something which the customers really like. And some things which they're scared of is lack of finance, stop shopping. So if they want to buy a television, they're scared, okay, that it's a lot of amount, should I buy it or not? So, and also they are scared that the favorite brand doesn't care much about loyalty. If you're buying online, there's not much of loyalty points. So what Amazon did is that they became a company which connects brands with loyal customers and provides them with special offers. So Amazon Prime does that. If you take the subscription, you can get more special discounts. And I think nowadays they even have the special sellers. So if you want to be a seller, you can also enlist yourself in Amazon. So for the gains, they have given special offers for those who fill the surveys about the brands. They give special discounts to their members, and they have early access to brand sales, which is Amazon Prime. The people were scared about lack of finance, that what if I do not have enough money to buy? What they did is they provided easy EMIs. So this is something you can maybe see, because I think some of you have mentioned the elderly category and their income isn't much. So you need to think about, okay, if there's a product, how will they buy, or how are you planning to look at the revenue, or is there any benefit in terms of cost? So just think about something like that. And then also another thing which they had problem was the favorite brand doesn't care, so they make it easy to give feedback. So you will see that Amazon or HKTV Mall or a lot of these brands, they come with a lot of feedback, right? When you buy some product, the first thing, most of us probably will go to the rating and see, okay, is the product good? Is it viable? You trust on other customers to provide feedback and tell you if the review is good, then you will buy it. If some people complain, then you might not buy it. If they say, okay, the product wasn't so good, or maybe it was a scam, then you won't buy it, right? So this is an easy way to locate if there are any problems going on. Also, it's very helpful because some of the customers will share videos or pictures, and that's helpful for you to buy. Okay, previous slide. One more. No, one previous slide. Two slides previous. One more. Okay, thank you. So now it's time for you guys to work on your value proposition canvas. We gave two examples of how the customers are working on their profile and then their value map. So you have about 10 to 15 minutes because you have to maybe brainstorm a little. Make use of the notepads which you have on your table, because you can just flip around, right? If you put something on gain, you can put it here. So you can just make use of the memo pads. Usually in design thinking, we will use a lot of memo pads sometimes because we do not, if we write something, we might want to put it here. If you want to put it here, you can put it in products and services. So you can just use some colors, make your own rules or something, and draw a big circle like this and partition it. And then you can just put some memo notes here and then you can move them around later on. So first to work on the customer profile, like about your character, about the profile which you have selected. And then you can go to the value map, like how you can provide, how you as a company who is making a robot, so what are the characters, how will the robot help alleviate their pain, how will the robot help them put some advantage. So, and here is what you can do now, like what will your robot do basically, like how will it help. So you have 15 minutes for that. It's at 11:35 you can, I'll just check and then we can just start sharing. Online as well, if you have any doubts, just let me know. We have the chat function here, so we can, if you want to say anything, you can say. Oh, which one? Okay, 5 more minutes. In case you guys have any issues, let us know. Even online students, if you're having any problem, you can just unmute or just tell us if you're having anything. Also, if you guys would like to present, you can. You can turn on your video, or you can just share a picture of your chart if you've made it, so we can just see. I think you guys are working in groups, so you can share your screen. Maybe that's better. So we can also go through, and it would be more better to just like interact with everyone else. Thanks. Is there any group which is done? Do you guys need more time? Okay, so maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes is fine. I think, okay, 2 minutes and 11:37. Is any group done? Almost done? Once you're done, remember you have to present. So, and this time we'll make it a little more interactive. Please, everyone, feel free to ask any questions if you have, because now that you have defined your customer, we know whom you are targeting, and if you want, we can ask questions and just see why they have selected the pain points or the pain relievers, or what is the task of the robot. And for online students as well, please let us know if you want to share your screen. So we'll play it here and you can tell us about your product.
So unfortunately, all the sticky notes that we tried putting on peeled off. So I'm going to try going off a script here. So thanks. What are the customers' jobs? What are the customers trying to get done in their work? They are trying to, the customer here is a middle-aged man, let's say, who is trying to provide for his family, but is struggling. So what do they want? They want to be financially included. They want to be financially stable. And with that, they need to have more financial stability. But what are the pains? They have no saving plans. They have they have no saving plan. They may be unbanked customers, and they may make some bad decisions, such as relying on betting, right? So And then what are the gains from this product? Like, what are what do they want to achieve? They want to provide good education for the children. They want to provide financial inclusion for the family. They want to provide stable income for the family, right? So what do we do here? So how is the robot going to help? Our robot's name is Capital Hero, and basically the products and services we provide. Firstly, one service we provide is that it is an alternative credit scoring machine learning model. So a lot of words, but basically alternative credit scoring is providing a better a valued assessment for a customer or a business to basically receive easier loans. So who are we providing it for? We're providing it for lower income, middle-aged people, let's say. What else? We're not just like an application or like a credit scoring model. We're also going to provide financial advisory, how to make them more financially literate, right? I think that's very important for banks to gain trust in these customers, right? So yeah, that's one of the gain. Like, what's one of the gain creators? Is one, to help them be financially stable and knowledgeable. Also, a second, it's very important, is more credibility for these customers, and alongside that, our service to be like among the big commercial banks and financial institutions for loans. And with that, what is the pain relief? Like, what are the pain relievers? Firstly, is easier access of loans through this fair financial assessment, which we will assess through collecting their personal data with their consent, basically trying to create through big data and machine learning. So I think these are very new concepts that we can try using as a social service. And yeah, another thing, ease of access to financial knowledge. I think that's very important. So we are not, again, emphasizing this robot is not just your savior for getting loans. It's also a savior for you to become more financially knowledgeable, and in the end, you will become a financially stable customer, a financially stable person in Hong Kong or China. And is there anything left? Yeah, nothing left. I think that's it. Yeah. Is there anything else? Do you have questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I had a question. So it's basically like money saving, right?
Not exactly money saving. It's more like trying to help them become more, more rational customers, more like people who do not necessarily, we try to help them get loans so that they can provide for their families, let's say.
So by the time they're old, they might not get like loans or savings or something. What if we try to do it at an earlier age, like when you're like an adult? Why is it not for the adult? If they start saving the money with the help of the robot, by then they can have some money. They can have some savings.
That's actually true. That's actually true. Then I'd probably add that in. Maybe
you can just try to suggest more, or just defend a little, just explain more, like why the elderly and why just savings.
Oh, we're talking not about elderly, because by the time they're old, it'll be very difficult for them to get loans. So it's, yeah, I mean, you make a valid point that we should also include the young adults for them to become more financially knowledgeable and for them to provide for families in the future, because getting loans, getting investments, they're a very long-term thing, right? So I guess you're right in that sense.
So in that case, your customer profile can change. It's like from anyone, from just the elderly to somebody who wants to save money.
Yeah, from young adults and middle age, let's say.
Even like teenagers, the ones maybe the ones who have just started working out, or someone who is in college student.
Yeah, basically people like us. We try to help people. We try to focus mainly on lower income, because we kind of want to be a social enterprise more than anything else. We want to provide that financial literacy as well. So you're right in that sense that providing for the young adults will also help. So yeah, I'll keep that in mind, and yeah, thank you.
Okay, so just make sure that whichever age category you're selecting, it he makes a valid point that it doesn't always have to be age category. It can also be like somebody who wants to save money, like they have made badminton lovers. Anybody can come in that category. You will provide everything according to that, right?
Yeah, but basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to help them seek loans.
Yeah.
Because especially for those who are unbanked, and these days what we do is that we collect, let's say on our phones, sorry, I don't have my phone right now, but on our phones, let's say we have like payment systems like Alipay, WeChat Pay,
Yeah.
or, I can give some examples from India as well. It's very popular. But basically, a lot of companies, they try to assess that their spending. They try to assess the customer, their behavior through these applications, through these big data and artificial intelligence. They try to assess a credit score. Like that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to provide a credit score and then try to alleviate that. We try to increase that slowly to make them a more trusted customer among commercial banks and basically get them better loans.
Yeah, just one thing. It already exists. So
I know it already exists, but like
Yeah.
as a social enterprise, because the issue is that what's the problem here is that a lot of them are focused on small and medium enterprises, but not on like people who are financially not so well to do.
Okay, then in that case, this is your value proposition. This is why you are unique.
Yeah. We provide.
Okay.
We're a social service first. We're not just a financial credit scoring.
Okay, so that's why you're unique. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, thanks for your presentation. Keep that in.
Sure,
We'll
sure,
use
sure,
it for
sure.
the next
Sure.
stage. Thanks. Anyone else? Would you guys like to present?
Okay, so we kind of just used the robot idea from last time. So just a brief reminder, our robot is catered towards elderlies, and we're emphasizing on their safety and relieving their sort of stress on physical labor. So in terms of customer profile, for the gains, obviously we are emphasizing, as aforementioned, on the safety and the relief of physical stress. But at the same time, we also thought of another gain that they can have, which is that because most of these elderlies actually have children, of which the children have to sacrifice a lot of time and effort to take care of them, it can also give their children relief on a peace of mind, and they can go to like work without worrying about their parents being alone at home, and kind of allow the elderly to become more independent by themselves at home. As for the pain points of the bad outcomes or risks related, I'll talk about customer jobs first, sorry. So as for the customer jobs, the elderly is usually the target segment that we're targeting is usually going to be retired. They're going to be staying at home or either in elderly homes as well. So that's also another kind of segment that we can target, which is elderly home. As for the pain points, we understand that the elderly has a lack of income, so we do have to find different ways to kind of charge these elderlies, or in a sense, different institutions like the government find subsidies, stuff like that. The second one is also the cost, and because it's technology, it will be very expensive to maintain. And the last one would be that they would require a lot of knowledge to use, because as we said, we want to help elderly become independent, which means that they will have to understand the technology themselves. So that will be a pretty big pain point for us that we have identified. So as for the value map for the game creators, we will want to focus on practicality, as well as this sort of self-learning technology, so that it will be personalized and catered to every single elderly, because every single elderly, we understand, have different habits, have different behaviors and attitudes. As for the pain relievers, so most of it is cost related. So as we stated before, we'll be applying for like government subsidies, as well as rely on perhaps like changing the target segment to the children of these elderlies that can help their parents purchase this technology. We'll also be charging like elderly homes, as well as and as for the required knowledge to use, we'll be giving them like free education and teaching guides, step-to-step guides to help them like kind of ease into the way of using this new technology. As for the products and services, one of the few pain points may be that because it's very technology related, there's going to be required a lot of maintenance fee, like battery costs and stuff. So we'll be providing like battery warranties, maintenance warranties, stuff like that. And yeah, so essentially it's just, as aforementioned, there's just going to be, we're going to provide step-by-step guides to help these elderly. So that concludes our value proposition Canva. Thank you very much.
Wait. Any questions? Okay, I have a question. It's quite detailed, but I think it's a little confusing between the elderly and the children. Also, another thing is just like a suggestion, because you were asking that the elderly do not have much income, so how will they purchase your product? So another thing can be, if you think of yourself as a child, how did you get yours? We did not have our money, right? It was our parents who bought things for us. So in business, we have this like the influencer. So we basically ask our parents to buy us some things, and they will purchase. So they are the purchase leaders and we are the influencers. We will ask them to buy. So similarly, why can't the elderly also, like, maybe their kids can buy it for them? Something like that. Because we do have some products, like some radios, they actually market it like that. So they said a perfect gift for your mom and dad. So maybe you can think of something like that, like can you do, if the elderly cannot purchase it, can the mom and dad purchase it? Can the children purchase it?
Right, so I've actually thought about this. So there's kind of like two ways you can look at it. Obviously, we can market it in a way where it's like a perfect gift for your mom and dad. And I guess like in a sense, why it's so well catered to the kind of Asian market is because, especially within Asian culture, taking care of your parents because of the fact that you guys have like a close-knit relationship is a very, very important like tradition and culture within like Asian families, especially within Hong Kong, I would say. So like, I would say it is a much easier way to ease into the market, especially in Hong Kong. Yeah, so that's about it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you guys like to present? I can see you've written a lot.
I did this for our innovative badminton booking platform. Yes, for the customer portfolio first, the customer job is basically they need to book and pay for their deserted time slot to book the sports facility, such as the coach and other normal like sports lover, something like that. And we want to make a system that they can game is that they can easily book for their deserted time slot, and also save time to look for their facility from different website. Yes. Yes, and now the problem is that there are many bad guys in the world that try to do the scrapping work, that they are not using the facility for their own use and just resell their booking session for profits, and also very time consuming if a user can access the sports facility from different source and platform. Like a university student may book the facility from their university, LCSD, or other social media group. Yes, it's time consuming for them to look for the facility available from different website source.
And
yes.
yeah, the pain relievers, like how are you
Okay.
planning to solve it?
Okay, for the value, basically we want to have a system to save their time to book the facility and also easier for them for the booking by using some one-stop facility platform and also the IoT authentication method to avoid the scrapping issue. Yes, and the product is the one integrated website platform for booking these facilities. And also a more convenient authentication method by using the IoT technology such as the location of the user and the AI camera computer vision to monitor the usage situation as the sport facility venue, something like that.
Okay, so you're planning to make software as a service, like it will be your own IoT or app or some software? Like
yes, it will have our one-stop integrated website that it can call, fetch the data from different platforms for the booking data. And also there may be some sensor at the booking venue to monitor the misbehavior of the sport user.
Okay, I think the last point which you said was good. Like it's what makes you unique, because there are many apps, there are many websites which already do that, right? Like they can help with integrated booking. If not badminton, there are many others. But you just added a point that you would like to track their personal behavior or mental behavior or how they're feeling. So that can be your unique value proposition as well. Like it can be your unique point why you are different from others. So yeah, maybe you can focus a little on that. Like of course your IoT and everything is there, but you are going the extra mile to analyze how they feel, and you are providing some emotional benefits to them. Am I correct? Is that what you're planning to add as well? Like some emotional benefit, like they do not have to wait in line or something.
I think they will be very frustrated when they had to get out in the very early morning, like 7 a.m. to book to compete with each other to book for the facility.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody has any questions? Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody online who would like to present? Okay, so now that you have made your product, so just think about how you visualize it. So you have made a robot which will do many things, right? You have already focused on how you will alleviate the pain and what are the benefits. So now it's time to create your own product. Like how will it look like? So I think for the badminton team, it's more like software. So maybe it's some website. For the rest of you, it's a robot which will focus on different things. So how will it look like? You can just make a very small drawing, or like you've seen in IDEO, they have enacted the robot. So you can also enact it, and you can just have provide some like the coverage for your product. Like how will it look like? Like is it like a software? Is it a virtual thing? Is it like a physical product which will move around with the granny or with the children? So you can just start thinking about how it will look like. And it's important to make that because it's your product, and now this is the stage where you can prototype. So either you can prototype in the sense of like you have some papers and cardboards, you can just make something small. You can draw it, you can enact it like in a role play or something, like you are enacting as a robot itself. So just be as creative as you can be. And why it's important to have a product is because you have to now estimate its cost. So depending on what the product is, you kind of need to understand what are the different costs can be. So now we are moving towards the third and final stage of this workshop, which is the business model canvas. So this is the business model canvas. I'm pretty sure you might have seen it in some business presentations. Just do not get scared by looking at all these 9 columns, rows, because we have already done pretty much half of it. You have already thought half of it, how you will do, how you will cover it. So the first, I'll just explain in brief what all these segments are and how you can fill these up. So the first is customer segment. The very first thing which you have already done is make your customer profile, right? So who your customer will be and like what are the characteristics. So this is basically just like they said, for badminton lovers, it will come here. For them, it was the elderly or anybody who wants to save money. So you can just put your customer segment here. And the second thing which you will do is the value proposition. So what is your unique selling point? In other sense, what kind of value will you provide? So you have already given the different pain relievers and your gains. So those are your values which you will be putting. So you can just put it. You can see this is the biggest column here, and also it's like the heart of the whole business model canvas. This is why it's really important to understand what your customer is going through and what are you going to provide them. So this is the second thing which you have already covered. Then third is the revenue stream. So how will you earn money? So this is why you need to visualize your product. You can't just have, okay, a robot. But if it's small, maybe the cost is smaller, right? If the cost is less. If it's online like them, maybe it's a little more, like maybe the cost is a little lesser or maybe more. Depends on you. So once you visualize how your product looks like, you can find out what is the revenue stream. So from where will you, how will you sell it? Will you sell it online? Will you sell it offline? How much? You do not have to go, of course, when you're presenting to the actual business, you have to present numbers, right? Like how much money you're planning to earn, in what time, which year, and what is your profit percentage. But this is a very simple one. So you can just write like from where you'll get your money. And then we have number 4, which is the channel. From where will you get your money? Like which channels? Will it be like through some suppliers? Will it be through some promoters? And we have customer relationships. So you already have your customer, but how do you want to like relate with them? Do you want to be like a supplier to them? Do you want to be in like a door-to-door delivery, or do you want to be like their friend or some loyalty program where they will think of you as their guide? So this is up to you. And then we have the key activities. So it's like the jobs to be done. So what are you planning to do here? Also, if you have any marketing activity like loyalty programs, or if you have any campaigns, what are those things? And then we have the key resources. So of course, if you're having a robot, then where will you get its key parts? Or if you're making something online, do you have some IT resource, some maybe some software which you will be using? So these are your key resources of what makes your product. Then we have the key partners. With whom do you want to partner? So if you're selling, let's say if you're selling a robot, would you like to partner with, let's say, Amazon? Or will you partner with some local community or some NGO here so that they can also sell the product with you, or they can promote? So these are all your key partners, so where you will promote your product. And finally, it's the cost structure. So basically, how will you incur all the cost? Of course, all of these things have cost. Like, let's say this one has marketing, this one might have some channels, some service tax, or some like the cost of paying the employees, the cost of manufacturing the robot, or the cost of making the software. So these are all the cost structures which you can have. So this is an example of Amazon. We had seen earlier how Amazon made the value proposition canvas, right? So this is the customer segment. So it's very simple. You see, it's not like something very difficult. They have just made very mainstream and simple business model canvas. So here they have customer segments. So the customers are the buyers. So the ones who buy from Amazon, the sellers, the ones who are like enlisting the products, and they have the developers and business, because Amazon has a lot more like consultancy, they have their Amazon Prime, so they all are developers. The value proposition is low price plus fast delivery plus wide selection of products and convenience. So they want to provide, this is the value proposition. They have marketplace with access of millions of buyers, and they want to build a platform as a service. So it's not just software or anything, it's they want to build the whole platform when everybody can log into. And this is how they also collect data and generating the user data. So what they have here is the revenue stream. They have one-time sales, subscription, and Prime subscription. They also have commission on sales. So if you enlist your product as a seller, you can they also get commission. And they have pay per use and support subscription. So what are the different channels which they're using to earn these revenue is Amazon, Amazon.com, which is the website, as well as the mobile app. So you can see they have both website and app, and they're earning from both of them. And they also have affiliates. So there are some powered by Amazon. There are some bags which have also come out. They have Amazon Basics. So that is also one. And then they have their own consultancy and then their own API. So what they have, the relationship with customer is automated self-service. So it's like something which they were saying about badminton, that they want to make it very automatic, and it's like self-service. They want to just come and take, do not have to wait for anything. So this is also one good thing, because, and actually for your robots as well, because you want to you want things to be automatic, and then like you do not want any manual numbering, right? So this is one thing which they have. They also have support. So Amazon has very strong support system. They have a good feedback, and then they have good, like along with the toll-free numbers. So they are also good at support. Then they have their key activities, which is their logistics and their platform development and maintenance. Their key resources are their Amazon brand, like the Amazon Basic and their own platform. They have technology information, because by now they have collected the user profiles of a lot of customers just like us. You might have noticed they send us specialized mails. So those are very personal mails, and they actually collect cookies as well. So whenever we go to Amazon and we log out or something, they will always send us mails that, hi, you have these things remaining in your cart. So you will always wonder that how come they know so much. The thing is, they collect user data. So remember, if you're making any robot, if you're making any software, anything online, AI, this is an important thing about technology information. Also, it has a lot of risk, because you will have to maintain the confidentiality of your customers, as well as that is a resource. And then they have their own warehouses, because of course they deliver the products. The key partners are logistic companies and third-party applications. The logistics is because, of course, the main part is Amazon delivery, right? You purchase something and then they deliver it to us. So they are the mediators, and they help us get the package. The cost that they have are their warehouse, their the people, like their employees, along with the customers, and their digital infrastructure. So this is an example of Amazon. And this is a smaller example of Netflix. I remember one of you was saying that you like watching Netflix. Netflix is very interesting because we have heard each other's value proposition, right? So we want to help people do this, we want to help people like manage their problems. Netflix had a different value proposition. Their goal was to make sure that people do not sleep. That was their goal, because they want people to binge watch over and over again, and their main goal was that we will not let you sleep no matter what. So that's why you can see that they always keep suggesting some recommendations which you will really not skip, you will end up watching them. So this is what their value proposition was. Their customer segment, as some of you have said before, like they are just movie lovers. They do not have an age group, like not just kids or any customer segment, because that is a traditional process, and this is more like they will be targeting everybody. And thanks to the technology, they will be able to understand what is the recommended or suggested use. So movie lovers, their relationship with customer is self-service and AI recommendations. That is their most powerful tool. The channel is any device, of course, because now Amazon is available in mobile, your iPad, and anywhere you want. You do not have to go and check out your laptop or TV for that. They have the Netflix app. Then they also have revenue stream, which is subscription. So the key activities are production and licensing. They have their own line of movies and series, and they also have their own platform. The key partners are customer, cable companies and broadcasters, and producers. The resources are platform and movie portfolio, because of course, like many actors now, you can see that maybe it's because of the pandemic, most of the actors have even come and they are acting in Netflix. So that is another good boom, and we can see that Netflix is actually rising. So cost structure is production and technology development. So what you have to do here is just make your own business model canvas. So I think because you guys can just have, I think 15 minutes, just make very small notes just like this. You do not have to give numbers or anything like that. Just make a small business model canvas. This is to give you a small idea about how you can make your product. Also at the same time, make sure you visualize your product, because if you do not know what your product looks like, product or service, it's a little difficult. So just form this table, and you have to draw, or you can enact your product. Maybe like if you want to be a robot, or if you want to just role play, you can do that. So after you have 15 minutes, and then after that we can have a very small presentation. It will be less than 1 minute. So you can just show your product. And I think that's all, because for the hackathon, what you will be doing is you will be building your project on different categories, whichever one you choose, and then you will have to make something like this to visualize your product. And you can just you will also have to make a video. So you can just enact something like this. It's a small it's a small experience of what you'll be doing for the next 2 days. So you can just work on this one, and you have 15 minutes. If you have any issues, let me know. Maybe I'll just keep this example on. You can just make the table and see. Are there any questions online? If you have any questions, you can let us know. I think you guys are following really well. So in case you have any doubts, it's also available online, so you don't have to worry. So there are many, you can just do a simple Google search and you will find that this business model exists. So you can just maybe download a template, or you can see. If you want more examples, you can also check that. In case you don't know what to put anywhere, you can just let me know. So we'll stop at 12:30, and after that we can just start a small presentation. So just don't forget to make your product or service. Okay, so is there anybody who would like to share? If anybody has made prototype, it's very short, just 1 minute. So you can just share what you have done. Is there anyone online who would like to share? You can open your mic and just say something. Okay, so if you have anything, you can just let us know. Would you guys like to share? Would you like to share? It's okay. You can just share the plan and then later you can build some prototype. You do just draw your small prototype. Okay, it's nice.
I couldn't really think of a prototype because basically making a prototype for this would be kind of difficult to simulate. But basically, our robot is known as Capital Hero. And let's start from like, let's say the customer segment is going to be like, as she advised, that, you know, we should also focus on young adults. So we're going to focus on the young adults and middle-aged people who are like low-income individuals, financially excluded, and lack bank and credit history. And then what's the second one? Sorry. If it's okay, can I just like check the order? Just for... Yeah, thanks. So what are the value propositions? So firstly, we help them seek loans easier and at lower interest rates. And another thing, these customers will be provided this service at no cost. Firstly. Secondly, we provide that financial literacy and stability to customers through through documentation, through social media, and helping them provide some financial knowledge. And we also promote fintech development and usage of online payment services. Yeah, so as you know, in Hong Kong and China, like Hong Kong GBA, whatever, you can see that there's been a huge development in these online payment services and fintech development. But the issue has been that these kind of credit scoring, like, you know, this kind of seeking loans has always been focused on small and medium enterprises for innovation. Now we need to think about the customers. We need to think about people, how to financially help them, like, you know, become more, let's say, more financially stable individuals and financially knowledgeable individuals. So third thing, what are the revenue streams? So we are going to firstly license our model. We're going to license our model and to banks and financial institutions. Like this model is going to be a machine learning model that will help in assessing one's credit score, like alternative credit score, and show their customer behavior and basically like how easy it'll be for them to get loans and how reliable of a customer they'll be. Secondly is the funding from third parties, as obviously we do need some kind of capital in the beginning, right? So we'll try to seek that from, let's say, funding organizations and NGOs. We'll try our best. So what are the channels? Firstly is an app and a website platform. So with that, we're going to focus on the customer relationships being mainly of artificial intelligence and self-service, similar to how all applications are. But we will also have a client service team that will help these help the customers provide be provided with some financial advice and some insight so that they can be more financially literate and stable. And next is the key activities. So first is the collection of customer financial history. So this can be through their online payment services or any of their transactions that they do. We can try our best to collect it, and then we accumulate all this data to get that credit score for them. And what are the key resources? So cloud computing, we require that to provide these kind of machine learning models, and also an online payment their online payment history, right? So what are the key partners? Let's say banks, financial institutions. Let's say, like, it doesn't have to be like just banks, but also basically not very big ones, but they can also be financial institutions that provide lending services. And we try to provide, get some kind of partnerships with them. We try to help them understand that we are providing this service specifically for this demographic. And what are the other key partners? Let's say cloud services, for example, Amazon Web Service. We can try to help them understand that we are providing this service for Hong Kong and China. And then there are funding organizations and online, then obviously there are the online financial services such as Alipay and WeChat Pay. And we try to use their application to collect that, their payment history, and basically make a more effective machine learning model and a more effective credit scoring model. So yeah, those are the key partners. And what's the cost structure? The cloud computing helps reduce the cost of providing that service, and the data collection of the customers, basically. So I think that's it. Is that it? And I think that should be a robot, but unfortunately I couldn't really try to emulate it. Let's just assume it's kind of like an app, like an app you can have on your phone, let's say. You can just, when you apply for a loan, let's say, and then you basically send that application to us, and then we will assess your credit score based on your financial history, and we will show you your credit score, and we will show, let's say, from 0 to 1,000, and let's say 1,000 is like a very good score, like extremely good score, like the perfect score, and 0 is like not a very good score. So most likely we will try to advise you as per how to increase that, or your score, so that you can seek loans easier and cheaper and at lower interest rates. Because if you are less, if you're less financially stable, they may not provide you loans at all, or they will provide you loans at very high interest rates because they think that you are an unreliable customer. So how do you gain the trust of these financial institutions? By making you a more reliable customer. So we do that through these credit scoring models. And yeah, that's our pitch. And yeah, okay. I think that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. It's really elaborate. It's nice that you have understood the different banks and NGOs. I just have one suggestion. Maybe you said not some big banks, maybe some small ones. Maybe then someone can ask, one of the judges can ask, what do you mean by that? How will you allocate which banks on what criteria? Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, so that is just one suggestion, what are the different types, and basically why? Why do you want to go there? Otherwise, it's really nice. But yeah, this is, yeah.
Yeah, because the issue is that, what I've been noticing is that these kind of, these things exist, but they don't exist for the customer. They exist for innovation. They exist for, basically providing development for the nation, which is obviously a good thing, obviously that'll provide better things, but you also need to provide some kind of welfare for these, for people who are excluded, Not everyone can be included in this innovation and technology thing. So we try to help provide that welfare so that they can be more included in this.
And that's a good research camp.
Yeah.
Okay, then any questions? Because we are running out of time.
So sorry, I took too much time.
It's fine. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just wrap up. Do you want to present in less than 1 minute? Because he can just share his screen because he has already made a prototype. Would you?
Oh, yes, I say very quickly, yes, this basically is just our business model canvas, yes, and then I can just show you our demo. Yes, in this one-stop integrated website, we have like you can see the different sport facility provided by different organizations such as LCSD, university, club, and also some online social media group. Yes. Then you can just see all of their surface in this one platform. Yes, and also for example badminton. Yes, and also see some facility information, something like that. Yes, and also you can choose your available time here. To have some selection so that you don't need to waste too many time to search for your time slot. Yes, once you choose it, you just enter some information here for the booking line. Go to the time. Yes, and it is the menu payment. Yes, so that I will pay locally, something like pay in cash method. Yeah, and that's it. Complete the method. Yeah, and you may download this ICS file to add the booking event into your calendar. That's it. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. This was a live presentation of the prototype. Maybe some suggestions, like if we want to use online payment, like if I want to use Visa, or if there is any special, like let's say if I book 10 times, will I get one free? Something like loyalty program or something, so that people can keep booking from your system. Maybe these are just small suggestions, but really nice prototype. So I think that's all. So we'll wrap up because we do not have much time. So thank you. I think you guys are really amazing. What you guys did in less than 3 hours, it takes a lot of time, sometimes days, weeks, years. We've seen so many businesses which are actually doing well, but suddenly they started having losses because the business model is not right at the first place. And you guys try to do this in less than 3 hours, so really good job for yourself. Please put a big round of applause for yourself. It's really nice. And I hope you guys have learned something, and always try to remember like where you put your customer and yourself. And in case you have any queries, do get back to us. And these things are free to download, so you can just use the business model canvas and other things. So thank you, and have a great day, and all the best for your hackathon. Thank you.
I think. Thank you, Bharati, for inspiring sharing. This is the end of the morning section. We will now have an hour and 15 minutes lunch break. You can undergo registration at 1:45 p.m. Please remember to complete the questionnaire related to the section of AgTech in the afternoon. The questionnaire can be found at the end of the participant handbook. You can mark down your answer on paper, mobile phone, or any device you have. Thank you.
Let's have a group photo with our guests.